Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of the formatting text lesson for HTML5 and CSS3. I'm going to bring back the file that we were working on the other day, and this is the CSS file that we were using. Okay, now a few things that you might want to know. This is what the page looks like as of right now. Yeah, so let's go back and show you text.html. This is the text. Wonderful, great. Now what, Tiki? Well, let's go ahead and add a few more things to it. Like for example, I was showing you. You know what? I'm just going to start from the top today, and I was showing you that you could actually, put text in paragraphs, headers. Well, if you want to put quotations, like for example, if you want to quote someone, like for example, I'm going to put a Q over there. And of course close out that Q. That basically gives you a quote. Now what a quote does is basically do this. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, no, okay, that's not really a quotation, but here's what a quote really does. I'm going to save it, refresh the page, and keep your eye up here. Ta-da! Notice it surrounds it with quotation marks. So that's basically the quote tag. Another tag that you may want that does something similar, especially if you're citing sources from other websites or maybe a reference, is a block quote. Now a block quote is similar to a quote, except that it doesn't put quotation marks. This is a block quote, for example, and the block quote has a property over here called cite, and cite basically specifies where you are citing this source from. Like for example, I'm getting this from www.tikishibuden.com, just so you can have the legalities out of the way. But all a block quote really does is this. See that? It kind of indents it, so you can actually have that in, that's what a block quote does. Okay? Other things you can do. Now, here we're going to deal with the CSS. Let's say, for example, I would like to put a text shadow on this just to make it nice and neat. Well, no, sorry. Before I do the text shadow, let me show you how to transform some text over here. Right now, the H1, that's the H1 right there, looks like this. And since it's a header, I want to make it, have a more of a title case. How do I do that? Well, let's go to the CSS portion, and here's what I can do. For the H1, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do a rule for the H1 over here. And for the H1, I'm going to say text transform, and I'm going to say uppercase. Oops, sorry, uppercase. Okay, and what this does is it basically says that the contents of the H1 will now be uppercase, and this is what happens. Ta-da! Everything is uppercase. You can do the same thing, of course, with lowercase, just like that. And what I get is, ta-da! Everything is now lowercase. You can also, since it's there's another text transformation which is called capitalize. Now capitalize basically makes it like a title case. See, the first letter of every word is uppercased. Okay, so that's capitalize. Something else that you can do with text to basically you saw me do this before. Text decoration. Right? Now, text decoration, you can have underline. You saw me do underline, which basically puts a line below. You can do an overline, and basically overline basically looks like this. So maybe if you want to put a border in between, towards the top of it. So you have overline, or you have none. Okay. Now another type of I'm going to comment that out. Yeah, in CSS you can also comment things out. So if you don't want to delete it because you want to have it as a reference, you can always comment it out. To comment something out in CSS, you say /* and then you close it with a */. Everything in between those two symbols, or those two sets of symbols, is basically going to be commented out. Now let's say I want to decorate that H1 with a little bit of a shadow. Here's how you do it. I'm going to use the text shadow, property over here. And the text shadow basically has 4 sets of properties. The first one is essentially how many pixels from the left you would like to have. This your x coordinates. So where would you like to place the shadow? I'm going to say just 5 pixels from the left of the element. Then the next value is the y coordinates. How many pixels from the top would I like to specify where the shadow would be? Let's say 5 pixels from the top. And then the third parameter, or the third value I need to put in, is how much blur, or where does the shadow start to blur. So if I say 0 pixels, that means it's going to be a very sharp shadow. Okay, but if I say I want to blur it about 10 pixels from the edge, it's basically going to be a pretty blurry shadow over here. And the final value I have to specify is the color of the shadow. So for example, if I want to have the color of the shadow as gray, for example, so I'll just use I know I've been using red, green, gray, whatever, right? Well, you can also specify colors in another way. In fact, there are a few ways you can specify colors. I'm going to show you another way of specifying colors, and that's using the hashtag over here and specifying the RGB values, the red, green, and blue values. The first 2 values are red, the second 2 values are green, and the third 2 values are blue. And they're all in hexadecimal format. Okay, so basically this can be anywhere from 00, that's the minimum value, and the maximum value is FF. What is FF? This is a base 16 number, or hexadecimal number. So you know how for us our regular numbering system is a base 10 number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it goes 1, 0, or what we call 10, then 1, 1, 11, 1, 2, 12. Well, hexadecimals basically go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. And then after F is 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 1, A, 1, B, 1, C, 1, D, 1, E, 1, F, and so on and so forth. So the maximum value for red is FF, or in decimal, it's 255. Right, so that's the maximum value. So let's say if I wanted gray, gray is a combination of all red, green, and blue. So I'm going to say, E3, sorry, E3, E3, E3. So I'll get a nice light gray color over here for my shadow. Maybe that's a little bit too light. We'll make it a bit darker. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So that should give me a dark gray. Yeah, that's a lot better. So if I save it, and here's what happens. I'm going to refresh the page, and there's my shadow below that. Pretty nifty, huh? This is a new feature of CSS3. Okay, so what we've just seen is basically how to format text a little bit. I mean, there's a lot more about text that we can change, and I'll introduce them as we go along. But that's it for formatting text for now. I'll show you more as more episodes come up. See you in the next video. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Also, check out the links below. And if you'd like me to cover something else, please leave a comment down below.